Sent off to inspect the remote provinces, the great Khan's envoys and tax collectors duly returned to Kai Ping Fu and to the gardens of magnolias in whose shade Kubla strolled, listening to their long reports. The ambassadors were Persians, Armenians, Syrians, Copts, Turkomans. The emperor is he who is a foreigner to each of his subjects, and only through foreign eyes and ears could the empire manifest its existence to Kubla. In languages incomprehensible to the Khan, the envoys related information heard in languages incomprehensible to them. From this opaque, dense stridor emerged the revenues received by the imperial treasury, the first and last names of officials dismissed and decapitated, the dimensions of the canals that the narrow rivers fed in times of drought. But when the young Venetian made his report, a different communication was established between him and the emperor. Newly arrived and totally ignorant of the Levantine languages, Marco Polo could express himself only with gestures, leaps, cries of wonder and horror, animal barkings or hootings, or with objects he took from his knapsacks, ostrich plumes, pea-shooters, quartzes, which he arranged in front of him like chessmen. Returning from the missions on which Kubla sent him, the ingenious foreigner improvised pantomimes that the sovereign had to interpret. One city was depicted by the leap of a fish escaping the cormorant's beak to fall into a net. Another city by a naked man running through fire, unscorched. A third by a skull, its teeth green with mold, clenching round white pearl. The great Khan deciphered the signs, but the connection between them and the places visited remained uncertain. He never knew whether Marco wished to enact an adventure that had befallen him on his journey, an exploit of the city's founder, the prophecy of an astrologer, a rebus or a charade to indicate a name. But, obscure or obvious as it might be, everything Marco displayed had the power of emblems which, once seen, cannot be forgotten or confused. In the Khan's mind, the empire was reflected in a desert of labile and interchangeable data, like grains of sand from which there appeared, for each city and province, the figures evoked by the Venetians' logogryphs. As the seasons passed and his missions continued, Marco mastered the Tatar language and the national idioms and tribal dialects. Now his accounts were the most precise and detailed that the great Khan could wish, and there was no question or curiosity which they did not satisfy. And yet each piece of information about a place recalled to the emperor's mind that first gesture or object with which Marco had designated the place. The new fact received a meaning from that emblem, and also added to the emblem a new meaning. Perhaps Kubla thought the empire is nothing but a zodiac of the mind's phantasms. On the day when I know all the emblems, he asked Marco, shall I be able to possess my empire at last? And the Venetian answered, Sire, do not believe it. On that day you will be an emblem among emblems.